Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Are you ready for more EIGRP? I hope so, because we're not done yet. So if you look at the summary on the top of the document here, we've already covered quite a few of the topics, but now we're going to continue with hello and hold timers. By the way, I've also cleaned up this document. I've removed a lot of the configuration because it was getting a little messy. So now it's only showing the configuration on R1, which is in classic mode, and the configuration on R2, which is in named mode. So let's go to the topology. I've only turned on R1 and R2 for this scenario. We don't need anything else. So let's just go on those devices and verify the configuration. Let's wake these up. And actually, I have the command here, so let me just copy this so we can look at the running configuration, the EIGRP section. Like so, you see, very simple, only the basic network command to enable EIGRP on that network. Then the same thing on R2. Like so. Again, very simple, just the network command. And we can still do show IP EIGRP neighbor. And let's go on R1 as well. Voila. So we're ready to go with the next configuration. Actually, I forgot to do this earlier. Let me enable a packet capture here so we can take a look at the contents of the hello messages. So we'll leave this running here. Remind me later about the update. Filtered this to include EIGRP, like so. Actually, we can take a look at this right now. So let's open up a hello message here and see what we can find. So essentially what I'm looking for is the hold time right here. So now you see it's configured at 15 seconds. This is the default value. Let's actually go back to R1. So here's how we can see the local configured values. Show IP EIGRP, interface, and then I think it's detail and gig 0/0. So right here, you can see that the hello interval is 5 seconds and hold time is 15 seconds. Now again, remember that these are local values, and we'll talk about that more in a little bit. We can verify those values on R2 as well, but you can imagine they will be equal because these are default values right here. Okay. So now a couple of things to understand about the hello and hold timers. Number one, they do not have to match between EIGRP neighbors. And number two, the hold time is sent to the neighbor in the hello packet, as we've just seen in the Wireshark packet capture. So that is an indication to the neighbor how long they should wait to receive a hello packet from that neighbor. I don't know if that made sense. So the hold time is communicated to the neighbors, basically saying, hey, this is how long you should wait to receive a hello from me. If you don't hear a hello from me in that time, then you can declare the neighbor adjacency down. Now let's go to Cisco documentation to see some examples. I have it open here, right here. So adjusting the interval between hello packets and the hold time, and this first one is for classic mode. And notice here the configuration is actually done under the interface. So let's do that. Let's go on Notepad. And then interface, gig 0/0. And then, what was it? I already forgot. IP hello interval. IP hello interval. And I think it was the autonomous system number. Yes, right here. This is important to remember. So the autonomous system number is configured before the actual value for the hello timer. So let's finish this up. So EIGRP, we're using 12. And let's see, maybe we'll put like 30 seconds for the hello time. Actually, before I configure the dead interval, let's look at something. So let's just copy paste this configuration on R1. So yes, let's go on R1. And there's a couple of things I want to show here. Copy paste this here. So let's let that run for a while and see what happens. Okay, here we go. So I paused the recording for a moment. So now you see all these messages here. Let's see what's going on. First, let's look at the messages that are displayed here. So you see that the neighbor adjacency has gone down. Interface peer termination received. And then it has come back up. New adjacency. So it is actually not clear from this side. I'm looking for a specific message. So let's go on R2 actually. Now here it's more clear what's happening. So the neighbor adjacency is down because the hold timer has expired. Okay, back to R1 so we can actually see what's happened. Let me exit out of configuration mode and then let me copy this command here if I can. So now you see that the hello interval is actually configured at a higher value than the hold timer. So this is causing the EIGRP neighbor adjacency to flap. So as I explained before, the hold timer is sent to the neighbor and it indicates how long the neighbor should wait to receive a hello message. So we're telling the neighbor to wait for 15 seconds, but we're sending hellos only every 30 seconds. So you can see that there's a problem there. So the neighbor adjacency is declared down after 15 seconds because the hellos are received only every 30 seconds. But once the new hello message is received, then the EIGRP neighbor adjacency comes back up. But now it goes down again, as you see in the ongoing messages. And also notice here an interesting thing, the peer termination received. So it's actually R2 that is initiating the teardown of the EIGRP neighbor adjacency. So it's basically telling to R1, hey, I didn't hear from you in 15 seconds that you told me to wait for a hello from you. So I assume you're not there, so I'm declaring this neighbor adjacency dead. Bye-bye. But again, it's not really clear from R1's side, so on R2 it tells us clearly that the hold time has expired. And now we've gone to sleep as well here. Let's enable this again. And notice here, show IP EIGRP neighbor, there is really no way to tell exactly what the hold time is. You can get an indication if you keep repeating this command. Well, now the neighbor adjacency has gone down, but you'll see that the hold time goes down, 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 down. And soon we're going to lose the adjacency again. This will actually be more clear when we configure other values that don't cause the neighbor adjacency to flap. But if we try to run other commands like show IP EIGRP, let's see, neighbor, is there maybe a detail option here? Detail, yes. But see, even this, it's not telling us the hold timer that we received from the neighbor. So you can only find it on this side with the local configured values right here. And if we go on Wireshark, let's see this. Maybe on this one, let's see, no, that's going from R2. Okay, so this is going from R1. Let's make this a little bit bigger here. So source is from R1. And if we look at the hello packet, you can see the hold time is right here. All right, now let's change that hold timer. So let's go back to the configuration guide. So this is the command. We might actually just copy paste this right here. Actually, another thing that I meant to say about this configuration command, the hello timer. So notice that it didn't automatically change the hold timer. I think in OSPF, when you update the hello timer, the dead timer is adjusted automatically. That doesn't happen in EIGRP as we've seen. So the values still stay the same. So once again, if we do show run interface gig 0/0, so you see we changed the hello timer, but if we do show EIGRP interface detail, it did nothing to the hold timer automatically. And actually, let me grab this command because we'll probably use it later. So let's put it in Notepad here with this other handy command. Okay, so now let's change this. So this one's 12 and let's say 50 seconds, for example. So we'll copy this one over here, configuration mode, interface, and then the command like so. Now we shouldn't see the neighbor adjacency flap anymore. And let's go on Wireshark to see if it's changed here. This is the wrong one. I want it from R1 to R2 right there. So you see that it was adjusted here. Now we are advertising 50 seconds instead of 15 seconds. And if I go on R2 side, now we can take a look at the hold timer over here. And actually we don't need the detail keyword for this. So you can see the hold time. Actually, since the hold time is 50 seconds now and we're sending hellos every 30 seconds, then the hold timer value here should go down all the way to 20 seconds. Let's see that. Let's keep repeating this. So if I continue to do this, we should get around 20 seconds until it goes back up to 50 seconds. Let's see if we can catch that here. Yeah, well, here we go. So we were at 26 seconds and then went back to 49 seconds. So you see that's how it works. Next, let's look at the configuration for named mode. So let me go back to the Cisco configuration guide, and the example is over here. So again, the configuration is done under the interface, but in named mode, it's a little bit different because everything is under the EIGRP instance. So let's copy this first, and we'll have to change the interface. So this will be gig 0/0, like that should be enough. And then under here, let's see, hello interval. And we can do different values here. So let's say 20 seconds for hello time and then let's copy the hold time command here. Let's say 40 seconds. One interesting thing to note here as well is how the wording is slightly different for the command syntax. So notice here how it's hello interval, but then hold time. Just a little curiosity there. Nothing important, it doesn't change anything. It's just a command. How it's defined in iOS. Okay, let's just take this whole thing and copy paste it to R2. Like that. So now if we do show IP EIGRP interface detail and gig 0/0, we should see the new values. Yes, right here. And then let's see on Wireshark as well. So now we were looking at a packet from R1 to R2. Well, technically to the multicast IP address, if we scroll a little bit up over here. But since we only have R1 and R2 in this scenario, then no one else will receive it. No one else is listening to that multicast IP address on that segment. So let's look at this one, for example. This is from R2, again to the multicast IP address, and now you see the hold time value here is like that. And now if we go on R1, we can do the same thing. Show IP EIGRP neighbors. Do we have that? Maybe not. Show IP EIGRP neighbor. So this should actually go down to about 20 seconds as well, because we're starting with the hold uptime of 40 seconds and a new hello packet will be received every 20 seconds. So let's try that. Let's see what happens. 20. That's funny. I was able to catch just 20 seconds and then the 38 seconds at both times. So that's really the only way to try to figure out the hold time that's configured on the neighbor. Even if it's advertised to you, it's not saved anywhere. At least as far as I know. If you know a way to find out what hold time is configured on the neighbor, what is received from the neighbor, then please share in the comments. I'd love to know. Okay, now one more time, let's look at what we've configured here. So show IP EIGRP interface detail gig 0/0. So on R1, we have 30 seconds for hello interval and 50 seconds for hold time. Let's do the same on R2. Although I think we just had this command here. Yes, we did. It's not gonna change. But anyway, we have 20 seconds for hello interval and 40 seconds for the hold time. Now finally, let's look at the running configuration. So we'll take this command, go on R1, and actually I'm a little bit silly here because the configuration is done under the interface. So that's why we actually need this command over here. Like so. Then for R2, this command should suffice. Like that. So that's how you configure the hello and hold timers in EIGRP Classic and named mode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.